This is Townsquare Sunday on 1420 WBSM, a place where people come together to talk about some of the good things happening in and around New Bedford. A place to share, a place on the radio for the people.
Come together right now over me.
And now, the moderator of Townsquare Sunday, 1420 WBSM's Jim Phillips.
Good morning and welcome to Townsquare Sunday. Thanks for beginning your Sunday morning here, 1420 WBSM. Thanks for tuning in. My first guest, is a member of an organization that's celebrating their 10th year in the city of New Bedford. I'm speaking of the New Bedford Bay Sox and the president and treasurer of that organization, Stephen King. No, not Stephen King, the author, but Stephen King, the president and treasurer of the New Bedford Bay Sox. Mr. King, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, both of us are involved in baseball, but different ways.
The Bay Sox, of course, are members of the New England Collegiate Baseball League. Plays its home games at Paul Walsh Field in New Bedford. They do visit all the New England states in the course of their, I think it's 42-game schedule that they play. The teams are made up really of some of the best college players from around the country. The NECBL affiliated with Major League Baseball. Yep. And it's a pleasure to welcome you here, Mr. King. Will it ever? This is a question that perhaps is unfair, but I know you've probably asked yourself this question already. Will it ever be warm enough to play baseball this spring? We've had weather problems in New Bedford. I remember year one for the Bay Sox. It was a nightmare situation. It never seemed to stop raining, and hopefully we can, you can start your schedule on June 5th.
We can survive the cold. It's the rain that postpones the games and messes up. Since you only have a short June, July season that can really put a lot of games all together, and the players have to play back to back to back or a lot of doubleheaders.
Sure. Look, how did you get involved with the Bay Sox? We know that Pat Connor came to New Bedford, brought the Bay Sox here. And now you are the president and treasurer, although Mr. Connor is still very much part of the picture, part of the organization. How did you get involved?
I moved to the area just about 7 years ago, and happened to be the accounting firm that I was working for did the books for the New Bedford Bay Sox. Mm-hmm. And so being alone and down in the area, and I like baseball, I went to attend the games, and attended games for the first 2 years, and then met Pat through different things, and happened to be sitting in the stand one day and noticed that the concession stand was a little backed up, and went down and helped out in the concession stand, and now for the last 5 years have been part of the concession stand and also the manager of the concession stand.
And now you're the president. That's quite an ascension.
Yeah. Once you start volunteering, you keep doing whatever's necessary to keep it going, especially if you're a small 501c3 nonprofit organization. Yeah.
So after 10 years, are the Bay Sox entrenched, do you think? What's your feeling looking at the business operation now that you've had a chance to not only do the company's books, but to look at the overall operation?
Yeah, our goal is to keep it in the area. Of course, it all depends on a lot of different factors, sponsors, attendance, and, you got to keep viable, have the money flowing in order to, there's a little traveling around, like you said, all over New England. You have big bus bills and different stuff like that. So but we love it here in New Bedford. We have a great field. Probably one of the better ones in the league. It's a great concession stand and so forth.
Last year, I think we saw a bit of an uptick in attendance, and maybe correct me if I'm wrong. That's not a small matter. You're asking people to pay for summer baseball, however, in New Bedford, which is something they're not really used to. Now, for 10 years, they've been, doing it, I think, but do we see a more of a willingness? Are you drawing bigger crowds? Was it did you get a hopeful feeling from last year?
Yeah, every year is different, but we've been growing each and every year, making people more aware of it. We offer a lot of different opportunities. You say you're asking people to pay, but it's actually very cheap. You can get a $10 family ticket for up to 4 people to get into the park. Kids under 10 are free, so it's very cheap night out. Yep. You'd spend that just driving to Boston in gas to see a Red Sox game and that. And plus, if you go through, we do a lot of to other nonprofits, offer our tickets out to a lot of nonprofits, in which we give 50% to the other nonprofits as well. So you could actually be help funding not only ourselves and watching a baseball game, but you're helping other nonprofits in the area.
I think it's, you come up with some very creative ways, I know over the years the Bay Sox have, to, do those kind of promotions, reach out to the community, get some people in there. And that really is a plus for the organization. I think you are doing everything you can to become part of this community. When does the process of putting a team together begin? Now, look, you're very much involved with the business aspect of it. I'm not sure how much you're involved with this other part of it, this other team-building thing, but when does that start?
Well, we end our season usually either at the end of July or the beginning of August if we don't happen to make the playoffs. Usually there might be a little bit of downtime after that, but generally, if not right after that, the beginning of September, you start building the team. Some teams in the league have them all set by the October 1st because you have to choose that far in advance to which players are going to come in. So somewhere between that period of time or the fall, you pretty much have locked into the core of your players. You have players change as it goes along because you have players that might get hurt during the spring season or their coach doesn't want them to play because they pitch too many innings or whatnot.
Yeah. So that process really wraps up in the fall, at least as you say, the core. And what you're seeing in this league and in New Bedford is some of the best college players in the country. Now, of course, just down the road is the Cape Cod League. It's a wonderful league. It's been immortalized in movies and books and everything else. But is there much of a difference? And do you consider yourself in competition with the Cape Cod League?
No. Cape Cod League has, the big name and so forth and so on. They're the best in the summer collegiate baseball. We're the second best throughout the whole country. So where you can actually go and see, 2 great collegiate baseball teams, leagues play during the summer is tremendous. Yeah. We have a lot of exchanges back and forth between the Cape Cod League. If all of a sudden they drop a player or something like that, we might pick them up. We have players that, our main goal is our players to advance, and you get recognition by being in the Cape Cod League just because it's been around so long in the name and so forth in Major League Baseball. That if we have a player that wants to play for them and doesn't happen to make it or whatnot, then we'll pick them up back here. That's the advantage of us as a team being close to the Cape.
And of course, you can see the New Bedford Bay Sox right here in New Bedford, Paul Walsh Field, and the Wareham Gatemen at Splain Field in Wareham. So it is, you're right, Steve. We get to see some pretty special collegiate players in the summertime. And you don't have to go too far to do that. What about this year's team? Tell us we're going to win the championship.
I'm hoping. You're always hoping, and it depends on how things go through. So far, we have 25 players. This year is probably a little unusual that we have actually 14 players that are came from southern New England, consisting of 2 players from Connecticut, 4 from Rhode Island, 8 from Massachusetts, and of those 8, 4 are from New Bedford itself. So you can come out and see players that have played right here in New Bedford, and cheer them on to hopefully go on to play sometime for in the major leagues or get drafted.
Talent-wise, what do you think? Maybe there's no way to tell. I don't know. What is your GM and your other people tell you?
Like I said, you never really know, because you got to see how they go through the spring. They're playing actually now for their college teams. You can actually go to our website and nbbaysox.com, and we actually have the links. You can actually follow the players that are there, how they're playing in the collegiate, college right at the moment. Mm-hmm. See how they're doing, which is a great thing to go to do. Because sometimes a player might get hurt and might never make it, or like I said, they might pitch too many innings and so forth. So you got to be flexible as well as you go through. We always start out thinking, we're going to go far, and hopefully this is the year we do with our 10th anniversary.
You are listening to Townsquare Sunday on WBSM. I'm Jim Phillips. My guest is Stephen King, President and Treasurer of the New Bedford Bay Sox. So any special festivities to mark the 10-year anniversary?
We have a bunch going on. We have, starting this Saturday, we're kicking it off with a spaghetti dinner. That's Saturday, April 28th, 6 to 9 at St. Andrew's Church on 169 Belleville Road in New Bedford. Tickets are $10. But that $10 ticket gives you a ticket to get in the ballpark, which is $5 in itself. There's prizes, so forth. Kids 10 and younger are free. So how can you do much better than that? And you can support the team. You don't even have to come out to a baseball game. You can come out and eat at a spaghetti dinner. We have a lot of events. You can see on our website when they haven't all been published yet. We're still going through them, but we usually have fireworks at least one night. We have, usually some nights. I'd like to mention some of our sponsors that have been with us for 10 years, and they usually will sponsor a night. First Citizens Bank, LaFrance Hospitality, South Coast Hospital, Domino's, who usually will do a free pizza night, Bank 5. So those have all been with us for 10 years, and they usually will, great sponsors of the team.
Salute to them for sure. Pat O'Connor brought the team to New Bedford from Connecticut. He's the original owner. Now he's listed as a very valuable consultant. What is Pat's role with the Bay Sox now?
Pat is, like it said, he's our go-to person to know everything about the team, because he ran it for such a period of time, and he does a lot of stuff regarding nonprofits up in Vermont. He's a valuable, like it said, consultant. He's, you ever want anything, you call him up, and he gives you right there. He's a member of the board, and that. So he hasn't gone away. But he's there to help out.
Steve, are the Bay Sox bringing people to New Bedford? Are they an attraction in their own right? Look, they're valuable in that they offer people something to do, but do they bring people here? Yes,
we have the families that come from all around the country. We have players from New York, Washington, Colorado, California, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Illinois, Indiana, besides the ones that are here from southern New England. All those families will come to see their kids play. We happen to be, even though we're all stretched out all throughout New England, we happen to also have another team in Plymouth. We have another team that's in Newport who bring their families. When their teams are playing here, we travel well to there. They travel well to here, and so players, when those teams are playing, we play well. We usually couldn't make it to do it this year just because of the timing. We usually will play a game against the Wareham Gatemen. This year it just didn't work out, but they usually are a good traveling team as well. Where can people go to get more information about tickets, sponsorships,
special events? Give me your
Uh,
website.
nbbaysox.com is the website. You can get us at Facebook on NB Bay Sox, and you can call at 855 Bay Sox 1. The one thing that we're always looking for, and the most important thing to running a team, is host families. If these players have no place to live, we usually have, that's a big problem. So if someone wants to host a family, a player for just basically 2 months, great deal. The kids love it, especially if you got a kid that's playing summer baseball itself, even because they can come out and watch that kid go through, see if they make it through the majors. And we've had several that have done that.
All right, so New Bedford Bay Sox, June 5th at Paul Walsh Field, opening day. It'd be nice to win a championship after 10 years.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be good.
Yep.
That'd be pretty good. My thanks to Stephen King, President, Treasurer of the New Bedford Bay Sox. June 5th, as we mentioned, opening day. Hope to see you there at the ballpark. And Townsquare Sunday returns in just one moment.